Ladies and gentlemen, this Epstein client scandal is growing bigger and bigger by the moment. I reported yesterday that as someone who's been watching and listening to Dan Bongino and his podcast for over 3 years now, he's not a good liar. You could tell that he's saying things that he doesn't believe. And when he did the Fox interview and he was saying Epstein killed himself, I saw everything. You could tell he didn't feel good about saying that because he did a total and full 180. Well, earlier today, reports came out that Dan Bongino got into a huge fight with Kash Patel and Pam Bondi over the Epstein files. He got into a huge fight because Kash and Pam are hiding evidence not only from Trump, but from the American people. Here's what we found out. This was the first report. I'm going to read you the headline, then we're jumping onto X because X is more up to date. Breaking report. This was a couple hours ago. Bongino took the day off after clash with Bondi over Epstein files. Will he resign? Laura Loomer has a massive scoop, and I'm about to show you what Laura Loomer has figured out. Do me a huge favor, ladies and gentlemen. Smash that thumbs up. Leave me a comment. Where are you tuning in from? Make sure that you are subscribed. If you love America, if you love Trump, if you still stand with Trump, I like I said yesterday, I stand with Trump and I trust Trump 100%. It is Kash and Pam that right now I'm like, what are they doing? Before we continue, ladies and gentlemen, a quick shout out to today's sponsor and the sponsor of the channel overall, and that is Verity Metals. Ladies and gentlemen, gold, silver, platinum, precious metals, it's constitutional money. It's real money. Now, Verity Metals, they are patriots. They are people of faith. They are located here out of Glendale, Arizona. You can go in, meet the owner, meet the staff, and actually see what you're getting before you pay for it. So call 888-328-6105. Tell them Vlad sent you for free silver on your next order. Links are below in the description. Let's continue. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it gets big. So I'm going to show you this scoop, and then she gave us a massive update. So here's the first thing that she posted earlier today. Scoop, FBI Director Kash Patel and Dan Bongino are livid with Attorney General Pam Bondi over her DOJ memo and the lack of transparency from her office regarding the Jeffrey Epstein files. Source tells me Dan Bongino is taking the day off today from his job as Deputy Director of the FBI. And there's now speculation on whether or not he will return to his job at the FBI over his disgust with Blondie's lack of transparency and handling of the Epstein files. Pam Bondi has brought total embarrassment to President Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, Dan Bongino, and Kash Patel. She has also lied to the American people. I'm told that Kash and Bongino are furious with Bondi and the blowback she has caused them with her lack of transparency. Kash Patel and Dan Bongino should call for Bondi's public resignation today to save themselves and to also push for full transparency into the Epstein files. This is an issue the American people care deeply about. Someone needs to be fired for this. Giving Bondi courtesy to resign is more than she deserves. Trump should just fire her. Ladies and gentlemen, I said this, I believe, 3 or 4 days ago. Pam Bondi is a good liar. Kash Patel and Dan Bongino are not. We've seen Pam Bondi in the last 3 months tell us Trump has declassified everything. I'm about to release everything. Then she said the Epstein client list is on my desk. And then she said, oh, never mind. I never said on my desk. Right. So she said things that were completely day and night and opposite from what she said the day before. And she always had a straight face. But Dan Bongino and Kash Patel, when they started telling what she was forcing them to say, they felt uncomfortable. It's like somebody's holding a a pew-pew to their head and forcing them. They felt uncomfortable. Why? We're going to go back to the screen for a second. Why did they look uncomfortable? Because I still believe that Dan Bongino and Kash Patel are men of integrity. Now, there are some questions around Kash and his girlfriend and his religion especially. He believes in a Hindu demonology religion, but that's besides the point. When it comes to, the Epstein stuff, it looked like someone was holding a pew-pew to their head and forcing them to lie. They looked uncomfortable. They didn't like it. Now, she goes on. And then she did this. Adaxio and Mark Caputo just confirmed my report about Dan Bongino taking the day off amid speculation that he might resign as deputy FBI director over his frustrations with Pam Bondi's botching of the Epstein files and the lack of transparency at the DOJ. During his time as a successful podcaster, Bongino consistently urged his viewers to push for a full release of the Epstein files. It was a main pillar of his show, but the recent unsigned memo released by Blondie and the FBI has created massive tension between FBI Director Kash, Dan Bongino, and Pam Bondi. Pam Bondi has created a total crisis for the Trump administration, and it's now sparking disagreement between White House staff over how it should be handled. Bondi should be fired. Look at how much chaos she has created. She has embarrassed the entire Trump administration. She has. Pam Bondi is the worst pick in Trump's administration. Matt Gaetz needs to be Attorney General today, not Pam Bondi. But ladies and gentlemen, it keeps getting bigger. My good friend George, you guys all know who this guy is. Be easy. He posted this. If indeed Dan Bongino resigns due to the Epstein cover-up, what would that say about everyone else involved? What would that say? If Dan Bongino resigns over this, he's a man of integrity. He's a man of honesty. He's a man of truth. Now, but we will see. I want to show you this. We're going to go back a few days. And then I'm going to show you something very, very crazy. Before I play you this clip, after I play you this clip, I'm going to show you what Pam Bondi has done to Donald Trump. Because of Pam Bondi, Jeffrey Epstein's brother is traveling the world right now and saying that Trump unalived Jeffrey Epstein just to cover up the sins that Trump committed at the island. I don't believe it. I know it's not true, but this is the chaos that Pam Bondi has caused. Now, Jeffrey Epstein's brother is going on the biggest cable television networks in the world and blaming Trump for Jeffrey Epstein's death and he's saying that Trump just wants to cover up what he did at that island. I'm going to show everything to you. This is what Pam Bondi has caused. First, I want to show you this. This is a whistleblower from the FBI from 3 days ago talking about the horror that Pam Bondi has caused.
I think Bongino's gone by the end of the year. I think that was true before this.
Well, you think other things too.
I think that Patel doesn't make it past midterms if they decide to switch over. But I also see that Patel is actually kind of useful. He's actually kind of fitting into the role of FBI director, which is a guy that flies around on a jet and defends the FBI vigorously, doesn't do anything in particular that we're hoping he does, and takes credit for things the FBI always does, and gets him a new building. By the way, they're moving to the Reagan building. I don't know if people saw that. You guys probably covered this the other day. That's not what we said. The whole idea was to decentralize it out of D.C.
Not get a bigger building.
Not to go move into a bigger building down the street that puts you in the exact same problem.
Okay, this is what matters the most.
I think Bongino's gone by the end of the year.
He made this prediction 3 days ago when the whole Epstein cabal, the Epstein file issue started happening. He said, look, the people are pissed. The people don't like what's happening. And look, Dan Bongino is not going to last this long with, so much heat happening. But now let me take you up here. This is what Pam Bondi has done. This is right here. Mark Epstein accuses President Trump of being behind the unaliving of his brother, Jeffrey, to silence him. Again, as you're listening to this disgusting, Piers Morgan interview, just know that all of this could have been avoided. This could have been avoided. The reason that Jeffrey Epstein's brother is going all over the world media and blaming Trump and saying Trump unalived his brother because of the disgusting things Trump did at that island. So now Trump is just covering for himself. Pam Bondi's responsible for this. It is Pam Bondi's fault because she's not doing her job. And really quickly, thank God that Dan Bongino is rising up. Thank you, Dan Bongino.
There's a lot of facts. There's a lot of information. People who take the time and really investigate this thoroughly all come to the pretty much conclusion that maybe Trump was behind this.
Wow. Well,
maybe Jeff was killed to quiet him.
You think President Trump has something to do with Epstein, with your brother being killed?
I wouldn't write that off. Because if you look at all of the evidence we have and all of the facts, not opinions, and all of the facts, that wouldn't be something I would dismiss.
I mean, that's an extraordinary thing to say, but there is zero evidence that Donald Trump had anything to do with your brother's death.
Well, somebody did.
That's 60 seconds missing. It was me. I went in with my own bare hands. I choked him out, okay? I choked him out. I couldn't stand that little person.
But do you see what's happening, ladies and gentlemen? Why is this happening? This is happening because Pam Bondi is not doing her job. When Jeffrey Epstein was first time ever indicted for any sexual crimes, he was indicted in Florida while Pam Bondi was Attorney General, and he got a sweetheart deal. Didn't even go to jail. Case was dismissed. But usually when the feds indict someone, they have an over 98% conviction rate. Pam Bondi knew everything that he's been doing for decades. For decades. For years, she always knew. She's seen the flight logs. She's seen the client list. She heard the victim testimonies. If there's no music on this one, I want to play you guys this.
All right, here's the context. Quote, is the director of the FBI caught up in an Israeli...
So there's music. So like background music that they added. I really want you guys... Go follow me at ANN_News92. Go down a little bit and watch this video. I don't know what to think about it, but Kash Patel, this guy really looked into Kash Patel, and here's what I can say. Kash Patel was 22 years old when his current girlfriend was born. She was 20 just like a year or 2 years ago. He's young. He's in his second half of his 40s. She's, I think, like 22. Not only that, she's a double citizen with Israel, Mossad, Epstein. Ugh. On top of that, she works for PragerU. PragerU, we all know, push Israel first. They might say they're all about American values, but they've been calling American military boots on the ground for every single war involved. They even want us to go and fight Hamas on behalf of Israel. So she works for PragerU. She has a double passport, and her dad is connected to the Mossad. It's very weird, very strange. And like, as a guy, you look and I'm like, she's way out of his league. He's 23, 22 years older than her. Like, her options are wow. And she got with him very, very, very recently, like around FBI director time. It's weird. But let's get back to the moral of the story. Pam Bondi. Ooh, Pam Bondi. Okay, let's go see if Loomer has updated us. Loomer. She gave us any updates, right wing. I don't know. Okay, she's saying fire, fam, scum. Okay, she wants scam. So Laura Loomer, you know, she actually before, as you all know, when we had the message gate in the Trump administration. So did Dan Bongino resign? The rumor within DC is that he has resigned. Yes. So he took the day off. He came in and said, had a huge fight and said, I'm leaving. And now, apparently, he told Kash Patel and Pam Bondi that he's resigned, that he's done. This is what people who were there are saying. But Pam Bondi and Kash Patel are like, no, don't worry about it. He'll be back tomorrow. They're not even saying that he's not in the office today. This had to come out from like whistleblowers and people that are talking to Laura Loomer. So we'll see. Look, if Dan Bongino really goes this far. Okay, here we go. Just in. This is from 20 minutes ago. CNN, Caitlin Collins, this is what Laura Loomer is saying, is now confirming my exclusive report about how Dan Bongino is considering resigning from the FBI over his clash with Pam Bondi and the DOJ after her mishandling of the Jeffrey Epstein files and lack of transparency. Notice how they don't even cite my reporting, even though I was first to break the news about him taking the day off today and contemplating resigning. So Caitlin Collins, even though we don't like her, she's a CNN, she sucks. But Caitlin Collins, she's in Washington, D.C. Like, she's the reporter for CNN that's running around the DOJ, FBI offices, wherever the media can. So she's getting scoops too. So Laura Loomer is now confirming my exclusive report about how Dan Bongino is considering resigning from FBI. So check this out. Metadata. Plus, you know that metadata is a very great artificial intelligence program that you upload a video or a picture to, and within seconds, it will tell you if it was played with, if this is original or modified. Metadata shows the FBI's raw Jeffrey Epstein prison video was likely modified. More of a reason for Blondie to resign. She should just be fired. Trump can like her, but surely he knows she's bringing him chaos. She is harming his spectacular image. That's right. That's right. For one last thing, I want to show you guys one last thing. Hold on. And I hate doing this, but I have to speak the truth. Which one was it? One second. So Benny Johnson, he did a report on this yesterday, and it broke my heart. I think Pam Bondi, you know what she wants done? I think she wants Trump. I mean, this is what it just looks like. She wants Trump's presidency ruined. Can anyone name one good thing that she's done for the Trump administration? Okay, I guess it was way too far before. Okay. The pollster. What's the pollster? The only pollster that predicted Trump would win on election night. Rasmussen poll. You leave me in the comments. Do you know who Rasmussen is? Yes, Rasmussen. People, I see people like, I don't trust Laura Loomer. Do you guys know that Trump meets with Laura Loomer once a week because she's such a good independent investigator? She's the one who broke who was behind Signalgate. Remember when someone, very first 2 weeks of Trump back in the office, someone was leaking all their intel and all their conversations? It was Laura Loomer that figured out that his new administration hired people that worked for Biden and Obama, and Trump didn't know. She figured it out. She did more vetting than Trump's vetting team. Trump trusts her, and I'm going to trust her. So Rasmussen poll. Rasmussen, Emily, thank you. You guys keep me going. Rasmussen poll. Yesterday, and Benny Johnson had them on a show. Since the Epstein files dropped, Trump went from the highest approval rating he's had in the last 10 years in less than 24 hours to the lowest he's ever had. Rasmussen poll reported on this. Let me see if I can find it right here really quickly. I'm going to try to find it. Rasmussen reports. I think this is it. Okay, here we go. 2 issues in the Senate. Okay. Man, they post so often. It's crazy. Okay, here's what they said. Public Opinion 101. You don't take a 67% of all voters' issue and try to dispose of it like a dirty diaper in the nighttime. We don't publish our overnights, but we'll make an exception here for the sole benefit of our readers. And Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, Pam Bondi, right? So, when it comes to Dan Bongino, Kash Patel, Pam Bondi, and the Epstein stuff, this is the issue that people are the most worried, like most crazy about. Now, here we go. We are in June. See, Trump was on the up. And then when this stuff happens, boom, he started going down. So Trump went from one of the highest approval ratings in his whole presidency to one of the lowest because of the way Pam Bondi. Here's what I think of Pam Bondi, and I'm going to close with this. I think she's a snake that snuck her way into the Trump administration. Attorney General should be Matt Gaetz. Do you remember when Trump endorsed Matt Gaetz to be his Attorney General? All hell rose up to make sure Matt Gaetz does not become Attorney General. Even Republicans were like, he will never get in. We will never vote for him. But then when Trump endorsed Pam Bondi, even a bunch of Democrats voted for her. Even a bunch of Democrats voted for Pam Bondi. Why? Because they know who she is. They knew she's going to play ball. They knew she's going to do whatever is needed to be done. Not only that, Kash Patel. See, if Kash Patel was a threat to the establishment, just like Matt Gaetz is, do you think Because a lot of Democrats voted with Republicans to confirm Kash Patel. It's wild. It's crazy, ladies and gentlemen. But we are not done. Guess what? We got God on our side. Not just any God, but the God of heaven and earth, creator of everything, Jesus Christ. He's with us. He's on our side. Prayer's on our side. Faith is on our side. And guess what? We will overcome this. We will win. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm gotta get going, but God bless you. Stay prayed up. Pray for our nation. Pray for our country. Yesterday, I don't know, I'm going to leave with this. When Netanyahu, the evil Bibi Netanyahu, who's actually Polish, his roots go to Poland and Ukraine, I don't know, and who changed his last name as a teenager because it sounded too Slavic. This Israeli guy, when he had the meeting, lunch with, with our military leaders and with Trump, let me quote him, and I'll make a video later on today. I'll find the clip, put it together. He actually said, right now, Israel has a historic opportunity for expansion. And then he showed a map where a piece of Iran becomes Israel. So they flew in saying, Trump, come on, but let's keep going. I pray Trump says, no, we got rid of their nuclear facilities. That's it. We're done. That's what I wanted to do. We did that. That's it. No more boots on the ground. No more forever wars. How about we have peace? I'm praying for peace. God bless you guys. Keep the faith. Stay strong. It's always America first. I'm out.